Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Minnehaha County Commission. We'll go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. Meeting documents are available for review next to Commissioner Karski. A reminder to silence your cell phone.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's a good shot. And Carol and Craig are here if you need a listening device. So that takes us to routine business. I'd consider a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call.
Benega?
Aye.
Karski?
Aye.
Barr?
Aye.
Bender?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Next item is I'd consider a motion to approve the commission meeting minutes for July 7th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Karski?
Aye.
Barr?
Aye.
Benega?
Aye.
Bender?
Motion passes unanimously. Next item, consider a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $5,776,594.74.
Pay the bills.
Pay the bill. Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments? Commissioner?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Barth.
today's bills include $4.5 million rebated to the motor vehicle department from our office. We also had in the highway department $800,000 in mill overlay on the highway and $75,000 for some culverts. And we had 8 occasions of decedent transfer at $400 apiece by MedStar.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? If not, roll call vote, please.
Karski?
Aye.
Barr?
Aye.
Benega?
Aye.
Bender?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. There are a number of reports there for your review. All have a lot of really good information in them. It takes us to the auditor's financial reports for June of 2020. Good morning, Vicki.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vicki Hewitt from the Auditor's Office. I'm here with the June financial results. Starting out with the general fund cash balance, $20.2 million, about $2.9 million over last year at this time. The highway fund cash balance, $9.2 million, just over $4 million under the reserve from last year. And then total expenditures, sitting at $29.9 million, 46.5% of budget. Personnel expenses at $20.9 million, 47% of budget. And other expenses, $8.9 million, 44.8% of budget. So all expenses just under 2% under budget at this time. And then revenues, total revenue, $32.4 million, 51% of budget. Our year-to-date taxes at $24.7 million, 53% of budget. And other revenues, $7.7 million, 45.5% of budget. So halfway through the year.
Any questions for Vicki? So Vicki, our property tax collection is just running just slightly behind last year, is that
Just
correct?
slightly correct, yep.
Well, thank you very much. These are really helpful. Thanks a lot. All right. So that takes us to personnel actions. I'd consider a motion to approve routine personnel actions.
So moved. Benega. Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Barr?
Aye.
Benega?
Aye.
Karski?
Aye.
Bender?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. So that takes us to abatements recommended for approval. There are none. Notices and requests, there are none. Planning and zoning notices, there are none. That takes us to petition for compromise of lien. Good morning, Melinda.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melinda Storley, Commission Assistant. Before you is a request to compromise lien DPNO 68708 in the amount of $626.35. The action requested today is to release the petitioner's responsibility and the real property from the lien with payment of $123.50, leaving the lien in full against the petitioner's ex-husband. The petitioner recently divorced from her ex-husband and would like to refinance the home she is living in. However, this lien has attached to the home located at 21437 477th Avenue, Aurora, South Dakota, legally described as the south one half of the northeast quarter, except the west 2,000 feet thereof in Section 2, Township 109 North, Range 49, west of the 5th PM, County of Brookings, State of South Dakota. The lien includes lien fees recorded from January through October 2009 for poor relief and legal representation, as well as a legal fee for representation recorded in April 2020. All were applied for by the petitioner's ex-husband only. The petitioner does not believe she should be responsible for any of the lien fees, but is willing to pay the $123.50 for the legal fee recorded in 2020 in order to move forward with a refinancing. She would also like to be released from any responsibility of this lien. The petitioner did provide copies of several supporting documents, which she referenced as exhibits within her narrative to substantiate her claim.
Any questions for Melinda? Commissioner Benega?
Just a clarification, if I might, from you or the state's attorney. Isn't Brookings County the primary responsibility to talk about this first before we would address it?
The lien is a Minnehaha County lien,
Oh,
not
I
a
read it
Brookings
as it
County
was
lien.
Brookings County and Aurora. Sorry.
That's just where they reside.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Karski?
Same kind of question, I guess, Commissioner. Can we lien property anywhere in the country? I mean, we typically see a lien on property within the county, but we can lien property or real property that's anywhere in the U.S.?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner,
within the state.
Yes.
Statute
Within the state?
cross-file
Okay,
a lien into another county in an attempt to collect the money.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Melinda? If the petitioner is here, the petitioner can speak.
No, she's not available, but she hopes you will consider her request.
Okay, thank you. All right, thoughts? Commissioner Karski?
So we can remove the lien from this property but leave it on the individual? Is that kind of the request that I'm hearing, or the direction that I would go, I guess? Is that what we're thinking, or?
Yeah, and I think she's agreed, if I might, to pay the
Sure.
$123.50.
Okay, and leave the balance on the individual?
Correct. Even if I don't know what county it's in.
That would be my motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, so the motion is to accept the $123.50 and remove the remainder entirely from the property and leave it on Gregory Bernard.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Benega? Karski?
Aye.
Barth?
Jeff, you're muted.
Aye.
Bender?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, that takes us to the next item.
This next compromise is to compromise and release the lien in full with payment of $1,000. The petitioner and his friend have applied for a mortgage to purchase a home in Sioux Falls for $264,900, but they're unable to move forward on a closing date of July 24th, 2020, unless the lien is compromised. He expressed in his narrative that this is a great opportunity for a 19-year-old and hopes that you'll consider his request. He is requesting a full compromise on lien DPNO 96689 and is offering to pay $1,000 of the current balance amount of $78,912.96 recorded May 2019. The application shows an annual income in his financial records of $38,000, assets totaling $3,719, and $16,112 in liabilities. His 2019 income tax shows a refund of $1,121. He is currently working and owns $14.50 per hour. The petitioner provided copies of various supporting documents for your review.
Questions for Melinda? If the petitioner is here, he may speak. He doesn't need to stand up. He doesn't need to identify himself. If there's any comments from the petitioner?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Barth.
Madam Chair, Jeff, could you make sure he speaks up? I don't need him to come to the microphone, but I would like to hear his statement.
Okay, thank you.
He is present but would not like to comment at this time.
Okay, thank you. All right, up to the commissioners. Any thoughts?
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Barth.
Jeff again. You know, we don't charge interest on this debt, and we often look at people who make payments, however small, regularly. We look at that more favorably. And I think that without this bill getting any higher, small payments might make us feel more kindly towards them. And I would also point out that, you know, we're only billing for the defense costs, and those are severely discounted over what a private attorney would have to be charging. And we're not charging anything for the prosecution. We're not charging anything for the incarceration, both of which cost us many tens of thousands of dollars more. I don't favor making any compromise on this lien.
Thank you. Any other thoughts?
If I may,
Commissioner Benega.
I would agree with Commissioner Barth. I think, frankly, in most cases for public defender-related costs, we're willing to maybe make some discounts. Unfortunately, $1,000 is significantly less than I think we would expect someone to make for public defender support. And I know the House is probably very important to him, but there's also a responsibility for us to collect so that not everybody in the Minnehaha County has to pay for those public defender fees at full cost.
Commissioner Carsey? Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if you were trying to indicate you wanted to
Sure.
speak or
I
not.
didn't
You
know
don't,
if
I'm
you
not
wanted-
trying to put you on the spot.
I didn't know if you wanted to make comments first or not. I was thinking the same thing, that when we look at, you know, there's so many different things we can lean for, and whenever we look at a public defender cost, we always look at, you know, some action to pay money back. And when we do waive the lien, it's typically when at least 50%. I mean, at least 50%. This has nothing to do with what happened prior to that or the legal actions. This is about the responsibility back to the rest of the county that, you know, we paid a lot of money to for the public defender and our constitutional responsibility for that individual. So, but I think that there still has to be some compensation back, and $1,000 just isn't enough to make that work for me either. So,
All right. Is there a motion?
move to deny.
Second?
Motion and a second to deny the request. Roll call vote, please.
Carsey,
Aye.
Barth,
Aye.
Benega,
Aye.
Bender.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, this is an opportunity for public comment. If there's somebody here that would like to speak about anything today, this is your opportunity to come forward to the microphone. And if you could just give us your name and your address. Thank you.
My name is Nikki Arrington, and my address is 3105 South Groveland Drive. And I'm Kareem's mother, and I just thank you guys for denying that. You know, my son who passed away, I have on funeral bills and headstone, and my son who survived through the accident. I had to negotiate with the medical bills for $80,000, so I just wanted to say thank you. This took a lot out of me to be here, and I was really concerned, and I just thank you guys for looking at it that way, and he's got to have a little bit of responsibility for this, so thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Is there anyone else this morning for public comment? All right, I don't see anyone else coming forward. That takes us to regular business. Item 10, consider a motion to rescind previously approved abatements on parcel 35328 for levy years 2018 and 2019. Drew, good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. This was previously on last week's agenda, if you recall, and we were able to contact Mr. Marshall. All of our offices were able to work with him. He's actually current on his taxes. Now, as a matter of course, I'm still requesting that the commission rescind the prior abatement application. He's going to be resubmitting, and we'll have to bring the abatement forward to the commission again, but everything should be squared away at this point. It's just a matter of process now of rescinding this application and allowing Mr. Marshall to reapply and receive his abatement for his permanent and total disability.
Thank you. Questions for Drew? Commissioner Karski.
Is there a cost to reapplying?
No, there's no cost.
Thank you.
I would make a motion to rescind the abatement parcel on 35328 for 2018 and 2019.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments? And I understand this process has been tweaked so that this won't happen in the future, that we're
Correct.
flagging these situations.
Yes, that's correct. We've worked with IT. They're going to flag these from now on, so then all of the departments are aware, and this issue shouldn't happen again.
Thank you. All right, so we had a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Karski. Barth.
Aye.
Benega.
Aye.
Bender.
Motion passes unanimously. I think we should all go with the Jeff Barth thumbs up voting process. I think that works well. Thank you. Good morning. All right, that takes us to item 11, which is to consider a motion to approve a consume and blend license for a wedding event on September 4th and 5th in Hartford. Olivia.
Hi, Olivia Larson, Auditor's Office. So we did receive applications for a special event consume and blend license for the, I'm sorry if I say this wrong, but Kasowski and nodal wedding and prenuptial event. It was determined by the state's attorney's office that this is actually private property, so it does not require the permission of the county for them to do their event with alcohol. So in that case, I am recommending that you simply decline on the basis that because it's on private property, they do not need our permission.
Questions for Olivia? Commissioner Benega.
So do we just do no action at all, or do we rescind state's attorney opinion?
I think you probably, Madam Chair,
Yes.
you probably need to take action on the application so that there's final action on the request.
So the motion would be to deny the application since no application is required since it's on private property.
Make a motion to decline the application.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Barth.
Aye.
Benega.
Aye.
Karski.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, the next item is to consider a motion to approve and authorize the chair to sign an agreement with NAI to lower the price listing for 908 West Avenue. Craig Dewey, good morning.
Good morning, Craig Dewey, Commission Office. The county currently owns 908 Northwest Avenue. It's a 30,000 square foot building that is close to the event center. It would be an opportunity for an entrepreneur to engage in some real estate redevelopment. Again, 30,000 square feet. The building does have good bones, and after conversations with the county's commercial real estate broker, NAI, the commission provided direction to lower the listing price from $1,850,000 to $1,600,000. And your approval would be needed to grant that request. And that is based on discussions regarding current market conditions.
Commissioner Karski.
Great sales pitch, Greg. Good job. Make the motion to, to set the sales price at 1.6 million.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any other comments, questions? Roll call vote, please.
Benega?
Aye.
Karski? Barth?
Aye.
Bender?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that takes us to liaison reports. Are there any liaison reports today? I would just note that we had our first meeting of the new Accessible Housing Advisory Board last Friday. It was an in-person meeting, which are always fun these days. And I think a lot of enthusiasm and excitement to get that new board kicked off. We have a lot of great applicants for the at-large positions. And so those will be going through the process that needs to be approved jointly by the city and the county. And so I think the city's looking at them, and then the county will look at them as well. But a lot of great enthusiasm, and so I see good things happening there. Anything else? Commissioner Benega.
I would just briefly say that the Fair Board is meeting on a weekly basis to update and enhance all the things that they're dealing with as far as holding the Sioux Empire Fair in August, and they're getting a lot of input and positive responses. So if you have comments or questions, you should contact the Fair Board.
I appreciate all the work that they're doing, because as anybody who's had to deal with any COVID-related issues know, the work is never ending, and there are no easy answers to any of the challenges it presents. So, all right, item 14, new business. Is there any new business this morning? Old business. Any old business? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to recess the Minnehaha County Commission meeting.
Motion to recess.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Karski? Barth?
Aye.
Benega?
Aye.
Bender?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. We will take about a 7-minute break and reconvene about 9:30 for executive session. Thank you.